Lightning split the sky over Hunter Memorial Cemetery as Yamato dug into the unmarked grave. The storm had raged for hours, but a deeper wrongness seeped from the pit.
Akira the Black. No one has spoken that name in 300 years. Why does this grave feel alive?
His shovel hit stone. Not a coffin, but a sealed vault. Within, an ancient grimoire lay open, its violet gem pulsing like a heartbeat. The moment his fingers brushed the cover, power erupted. Violet tendrils lashed into his flesh, binding the grimoire to his very soul.
What? What have I done?
When the light faded, the grimoire hung from his shadow, a dark brand upon his arm, the mark of a necromancer.
I only meant to give the dead some peace, and now I carry their curse.
A blade unsheathed behind him. The voice that followed was sharp as winter steel.
Don't move, Gravedigger. I felt the disturbance from the capital, dark magic of a necromancer.
Yamato's shadow writhed. The grimoire had chosen him, and the royal inquisitor would never believe it was an accident.
She'll never listen. The grimoire is a death sentence if I stay.
In a burst of violet smoke, Yamato vanished into his own lengthening shadow, leaving the Inquisitor shouting into the storm. Hours later, in a forgotten mausoleum, Yamato opened the grimoire. Its pages whispered of 13 soul slots and a ritual to fill them.
Bound souls of legendary warriors. If I can summon one, maybe I can survive. But the cost...
Before he could reconsider, the grimoire flared. A spectral knight burst forth. Great sword already mid-swing, aimed at Yamato's head.
Akira, after 3 centuries, you dare summon me again? I'll shatter your soul.
Yamato threw up the grimoire, a violet barrier absorbing the blow. He had seconds before the knight struck again.
Sir Aldrich, I am not Akira. I am a gravedigger who found his book. Your pain is real, but I mean no harm.
The knight's blade lowered. For a heartbeat, the ghost of honor recognized truth, then grief flooded back.
I don't know what he did to you, but I will listen. That's more than Akira ever offered.
Akari tracked the necromantic residue to an abandoned library on the city's edge. Inside, she found Yamato hunched over ancient texts.
Running only makes you look guiltier, Gravedigger. Tell me, did you willingly take Akira's power?
I didn't choose this. The grimoire bound itself to me when I touched it. I am no necromancer.
Before she could respond, Yamato's shadow swallowed him again, leaving only violet smoke. Akari slammed her fist on a shelf, alone in the library's deepest archive. Yamato turned a page, a new circle ignited, and an elderly spirit lunged with a staff.
Defiler, you dare disturb my slumber with Akira's foul magic.
Yamato raised his empty hands, bowing his head. The sage's spell hesitated mid-air, crackling with unspent fury.
Master Orin, I am not your enemy. I came to understand the dead, not command them. Please, I only want the truth.
The sage's ghost studied him for a long moment. Then, with a sigh that carried centuries of weariness, he dissolved into the grimoire's glow.
The purge wasn't a defense. It was a massacre. If this is real, then Akira's trial was a sham.
Akari tracked Yamato to a mist-filled forest clearing, her hand never leaving her sword. Hidden among the trees, she watched him open the grimoire once more.
He summons the dead so calmly, yet he did not kill me when he could. What am I really hunting?
A new gate flared. A translucent Ronin materialized, katana already drawn, his spectral form flickering with rage. Kaito the Ronin had answered.
Akira's shadow. You dare wear his mark? I'll carve your lies from your throat.
Yamato sidestepped the killing arc and planted his feet. He did not raise a hand, only his voice.
Kaito, the warrior who refused a dishonorable lord. I know your legend. Let me carry your true story, not Akira's poison.
The Ronin's blade lowered. His fury ebbed into something like grief. Without a word, Kaito's form flowed back into the grimoire, without rest. Yamato summoned again. An elven archer emerged, bow already drawn, arrow pointed at his heart. Lyra Windstrider's eyes blazed with old betrayal.
Akira murdered my kin and defiled our grove. I will never serve his pawn.
Yamato caught the arrow with shadow magic, then knelt. He whispered her clan's forgotten names, the ones the histories erased. Lyra's bowstring slackened. Akari left the forest, her pursuit abandoned. The truth she sought lay not in shadows, but in the kingdom's oldest archives.
You wrote the official account of the Black Purge. Tell me what you omitted 3 centuries ago.
The historian produced the original scrolls, records that flatly contradicted the sanctioned lies.
The Purge wasn't a defense. It was a massacre. And Akira was silenced, not condemned.
In the void between worlds, the bound souls stirred. Sir Aldrich's voice shattered the silence.
Our hands soaked the earth. Not his. The boy isn't Akira. He deserves the truth.
If he learns the pact, the nations fall. We swore an oath of silence.
Yamato opened the grimoire. A crimson flicker betrayed the soul's hidden agony and a terrible secret.
They aren't just angry ghosts. They're guarding a truth that could break the world.
At dawn, Akari found him at the city gate, her sword sheathed. Both knew the legend was a lie.
The kingdom's history is a lie. Akira wasn't a tyrant. He was a scapegoat. I have proof.
If this comes out, the 5 kingdoms will fall. We need more than proof. We need the soul's testimony.
That evening, in a forgotten crypt, Akari laid the forged edicts beside the grimoire. An unthinkable alliance took root.
Then I'll summon the rest, but each one will try to kill me first. Stay back, no matter what you see.
One by one, the remaining slots burned alive. A berserker's roar split the air as Gorath Ironhide lunged with twin axes.
Akira's filth, I'll grind your bones to dust before I serve again.
Yamato held his ground, speaking the names of the berserker's lost tribe, the ones Gorath had sworn to avenge.
How? How do you know their names? They were erased from every scroll.
One after another, the remaining souls yielded not by force, but by the weight of remembered truth. The grimoire's slots filled with violet flame.
It's done, but the Inquisition will notice the disturbance. We have days, maybe hours, before they come.
All 13 souls now dwelt within the grimoire, but their silence was heavier than their rage. In the crypt's dim light, Gorath Ironhide's ghost trembled.
Enough of this pretense. You all know the truth. We didn't defeat a tyrant. We slaughtered innocents and buried our guilt under Akira's name.
The pact, Gorath. We swore never to speak of it. The kingdoms would burn if that scroll saw light.
The grimoire blazed crimson. Its pages tore open, revealing a hidden 14th slot wrapped in chains of ether. Akira's own soul, bound as the keystone of the lie.
What is this? The grimoire only showed 13 slots before. This one feels alive.
It is Akira. We sealed him here as the final punishment for crimes that were never his. Our crimes.
So, the hero King Aldrich, the saintly Orin, all of them. The legend is a graveyard built on a single man's grave.
Yamato touched the chain. It seared his fingers, but he felt Akira's centuries of silent agony, a living soul, imprisoned by the very oath that built 5 nations.
How do I free him? If this book is their oath, breaking the seal could destroy the souls, and me with them.
Then we find another way. But first, we survive the sunrise. The Inquisition will be here by dawn.
They fled the crypt minutes ahead of the Inquisition. Akari led Yamato to a hidden archive beneath the royal library, where the uncensored records slept.
Here, the original pact, signed by 5 heroes, sealed with their own blood. It spells out everything they buried.
The document listed the massacre of a village, false evidence planted, and a pact to sacrifice Akira's name forever.
Aldrich, Orin, look at this. Look at what you signed. How many innocent souls did you trade to forge a kingdom?
Every last soul in that village. We told ourselves it was necessary. We were wrong. So wrong.
If I submit this to the High Council, the 5 kingdoms crumble. But if I bury it, I am no different from you.
Then we don't submit it. Not yet. We use it to force the truth from Akira himself. He deserves to be heard.
The grimoire pulsed in Yamato's grip. The 14th slot glowed, its chains rattling as if Akira were straining against the seal.
Be careful, boy. Breaking that seal without the proper ritual will free him and destroy us all.
Then we find the ritual. But first, we hide. The Inquisition is tearing the city apart for us.
A damp cellar beneath the slums became their refuge. Rain leaked through the stone ceiling, but Yamato's focus never left the grimoire.
Orin, you said I need a proper ritual. I'll ask plainly, what is the price to free Akira's soul?
The seal feeds on the souls of the Oathbound. To break it, you must offer your own life force and risk the grimoire shattering.
A long silence. Then Yamato's hand closed over the chain slot. His decision was made.
Boy, do you understand? You could die. For a man you've never met. For a necromancer. Why?
Because no one should carry the sins of others for 3 centuries. He deserves to speak his truth, even if it costs me.
The bound souls stirred. For the first time in 300 years, they witnessed a mortal willing to sacrifice for a wronged ghost.
Yamato, stop. There has to be another way. I won't let you throw your life away.
This is the way, Akari. Trust me.
He pressed his palm to the chains, crimson light erupted, and the grimoire screamed. The ritual had begun. The ritual's energy tore through the cellar roof. Royal guards poured in, binding Yamato in a circle of containment magic.
Release him. He's not the enemy.
Hours later, they knelt before the High Council. The hall was a sea of cold, accusing faces. The Chief Inquisitor declared Yamato a necromancer and traitor, sentencing him to death without trial.
Then let me speak before you pass judgment. The truth is darker than any necromancy. This pact, signed by your legendary heroes, details a massacre they committed, then blamed on Akira the Black.
The council erupted. Some called her a traitor. Others snatched the scroll, their faces paling as they read.
You can burn this scroll, but the souls of those heroes confess every night. Akira was your scapegoat.
The Chief Inquisitor ordered them both to the dungeons. The scroll was sealed by royal decree, its truth denied. As the cell door slammed shut, Yamato's grimoire lay dormant on his chest. The ritual was incomplete, and the truth, once spoken, could not be unsaid. In the silent dark of his cell, Yamato lifted the grimoire. The interrupted ritual pulsed beneath his skin, a half-finished wound. The hidden slot flared crimson. Its chains strained, and a low rattle filled the cell, like a heartbeat from the grave.
I made a promise to this ghost. I won't let death or dungeons stand in my way.
As he poured his life force into the seal, a voice echoed from the void, Sir Aldrich, spearheading the soul's remorse.
We swore an oath to bury this, but we have been dead for 3 centuries. Let our souls bear the cost, not his.
The 13 legendary souls channeled their essence into Yamato's breaking body, sharing the weight of the broken oath. The cell flooded with violet and crimson light. The chains on the 14th slot snapped, one by one like breaking vows.
Akira, I can feel your presence. You've been screaming for 300 years.
Who calls me by name? I have not heard a voice that wasn't a curse in centuries.
Yamato's vision blurred, his heart slowing. But above him, a spectral form took shape, Akira the Black, half-freed, his eyes glowing with desperate hope. The cell lock shattered. Akari, her armor dented, forced the door wide.
Yamato, the ritual is consuming you. Let me help.
She pressed her palms to the grimoire. Her life force fused with his, and the final chain snapped. The grimoire erupted. Pages scattered like burning wings. From the wreckage, Akira rose, whole and unchained.
I am free after 3 centuries of silence. Who would risk death for a ghost they never knew?
A gravedigger who learned that the dead still have truths that need to be heard.
From the scattered pages, 13 legends stepped into the world. Their translucent forms filled the corridor. Aldrich's great sword cleaved the cell wall. Orin's magic shattered the bars. The prison erupted in spectral fury. Akari dragged Yamato to his feet. Akira floated beside them, his chains now trailing like royal robes. Above the capital, violet lightning split the sky. The Gravedigger's army had arrived, and the world would never be the same. The capital square froze as the spectral army descended. Citizens cowered, but the ghosts did not strike, they waited.
For centuries, you called me monster. Now speak before these people. What did you do at Breachwood Village?
I, Sir Aldrich, ordered the massacre. I planted the false evidence. I branded you traitor.
I, Master Orin, wove the spells that erased the village from memory. I sanctified the lie.
I, Kato the Ronin, silenced the survivors. My blade was swift, but it was murder.
I, Lyra Windstrider, fired the flame arrows that hid the truth in ash.
I, Gorath Ironhide, broke every oath. I was the axe that obeyed their lies.
They sealed me alive in that tomb, then carved your kingdoms from my bones.
The crowd's silence shattered into cries of betrayal. Statues of the heroes cracked as the truth flooded the city. The legendary souls knelt in the rubble of their own legends. The grave digger had brought them not death, but judgment. The High Council members, robes disgraced, watched Yamato ascend the broken dais. He did not kneel.
I am no necromancer. I am a gravedigger who listened when the dead cried out. They committed atrocities, but they have carried the truth for centuries. Let them atone, not vanish into nothing.
Akira's ghost flickered, his form growing faint. The cost of his freedom was finally claiming him.
He waited 300 years for justice, but revenge. Revenge would only make me their mirror. I forgive them. Let the world remember the truth, and let them live to repair what they broke.
The council erupted anew, but Yamato's voice cut through the chaos like a blade.
They will answer to me. I will bind their souls to a new purpose, guardians of truth, not weapons of war.
One by one, the legendary heroes laid down their spectral weapons at Yamato's feet, their chains now of their own making. The gravedigger had become a judge of souls, his army reborn not through conquest, but through the fragile promise of redemption. The capital held its breath as the legendary souls lowered themselves once more, not in disgrace, but in fealty.
I, Sir Aldrich, forsake my false honor. Your truth is my blade now, Gravedigger.
I, Master Orin, offer my wisdom in penance. Let every secret I kept serve your judgment.
Kaito, Lyra, and Gorath each laid down their weapons and spoke their own oaths in ancient tongues, their spectral wrath dissolving. The scattered pages of the old Grimoire rose like embers from the rubble, swirling into a vortex of violet light. They fused into a new tome, the Book of Souls, its cover forged with 13 radiant slots, chains now of golden thread.
Your chains are broken. Rise, not as weapons of war, but as guardians of the truth.
The legendary souls lifted their heads. The fire of rage was gone, replaced by a quiet, eternal purpose. They moved to stand behind Yamato, a silent army bound not by dark magic, but by a covenant of redemption. The Gravedigger's army was no longer a curse. It was a promise carved from 3 centuries of lies. The golden light around Akira intensified, pulling his soul toward a long-denied rest. His chains were gone, the last anchor of a 3-century lie.
You gave me more than freedom. You gave me a voice. Thank you, Gravedigger.
Akira's smile was the first warmth the square had known in centuries. His form scattered into glowing embers, rising on a wind that smelled of spring. The moats soared past broken statues, past the spellbound crowd, vanishing into a sky that had not seen such peace in 300 years. Akari let her sword tip rest on the cobblestone. The huntress who had chased necromancers now watched a forgotten soul find something rarer than justice.
So, this is what I was meant to protect. Not law, but mercy.
Yamato clasped the Book of Souls to his chest. Its 13 slots pulsed once, in tribute to the ghost they had wronged, then settled into a steady violet rhythm.
He's finally where no curse can reach him. Our work begins now. The dead deserve more than forgiveness. They deserve a voice.
The gravedigger turned to face the broken High Council, his spectral army a silent witness behind him. The stage was no longer a court of law, but a forum for truth. And somewhere above, the last golden ember winked out, leaving only the clean, unburdened sunlight of a world that finally knew its own history. The council, desperate to stabilize the shattered kingdom, offered Yamato the highest seat of judgment, royal arbiter of the 5 realms.
I didn't unearth the truth to sit on a throne. The dead have no court but their graves. I won't be silenced.
He turned his back on the dais, the book pulsing at his side. The spectral army fell into step behind him, silent and resolute.
Yamato, where will you go? The kingdom needs
to face its lies. I go where wronged ghosts cry out. Every village, every forgotten tomb.
Akari's hand fell to her sword hilt. She understood. This was not a goodbye, but a new beginning. At the city gate, morning light caught the violet gems on the Book of Souls, casting long, ethereal shadows. The gravedigger was leaving.
He carries more truth in that book than the royal library. Maybe. I'll find my own path now.
He walked on, the capital's walls shrinking behind him. The road ahead was misty and unknown, but for the first time, it felt like his own. Soon, the world would call him Judge of Souls. But today, he was just a gravedigger walking into a world that finally knew his name. Weeks later, a mist-cloaked village opened its gates to the wanderer. The air smelled of fear and unfinished death. At the square, a weeping woman clung to a locked door. "My husband's ghost won't let us in," an elder whispered.
Open the door. I will hear the dead's grief, and yours.
Inside, a translucent coal miner knelt in the shadows, his spectral pickaxe still dripping sorrow. He whispered, "My brother sold our mine and buried me alive. No grave, no peace, only this cold." Yamato touched the book. Sir Aldrich's knightly shade appeared, no longer an executioner, but a witness for the dead. The ghost's brother, cornered by the truth, fell to his knees before the whole village. His confession was ragged, but it freed the dead. The miner's spirit rose, form turning to golden dust. "Thank you," was all he said before he scattered into the clean air. A child shouted, "He really listens to the dead." The whisper spread like wildfire. The soul judge had come. As dusk fell, Yamato walked on, the book pulsing against his hip. The legend was no longer a promise. It was a path on a quiet forest road. A familiar silhouette stepped out from the trees. Akari's armor was gone, but her eyes held the same sharpness.
I've been hearing stories. A gravedigger who speaks for the dead. I had to see it for myself.
You saw it once, in a library. You chose to believe then.
I still don't fully understand why you refused the throne, but I trust you.
Because a throne can't follow the dead where they cry. This path chooses no master.
She studied him, a boy who had bound an army of souls not with chains, but with truth.
Then I'll keep my own path, Judge of Souls. But if you ever need an inquisitor?
Yamato nodded. Some debts couldn't be repaid, only carried forward. They parted where the road forked. Akari toward the capital's reckoning, Yamato deeper into the mist. No promises were made, but the road knew they would cross again. The forest closed in, thick with ancient silence. Yanami's footsteps were the only sound, the Book of Souls a steady violet pulse against the mist.
Once I buried the dead in silence. Now they walk beside me, their voices unshackled.
He stopped at a gnarled oak, its bark scarred with age. The book opened on its own, its pages turning to calm, golden light. The 13 soul slots gleamed, each holding a faint, restful shape, not as prisoners, but as guardians reborn. Sir Aldrich's shade manifested, silent. He placed his spectral gauntlet over his heart, a knight's salute not to a master, but to a purpose.
Even the greatest hero can learn to listen. That hope is worth walking for.
The ghost faded, and Yanami continued on. His shadow stretched longer, and in its wake, faint silhouettes kept pace.
Rest well, Akira. Your story is no longer a lie.
The Book of Souls closed with a gentle thud, its vow sealed. The gravedigger's burden had become his compass, and the mist parted ahead, revealing a road no longer empty, but watched over by the quiet dead who had found their voice. On a high ridge, the dawn unveiled the legendary souls, no longer weapons of guilt, but sentinels of a new covenant. Sir Aldrich planted his great sword like a crossroads guidepost. Master Orin's staff hummed with forgotten spells, now offered freely to those who sought truth. Kaito the Ronin sheathed his katana with a final, quiet click, the sound of peace. Lyra Windstrider lifted her bow, now strung with golden light, an oath to heal what she once burned. Gorath Ironhide crossed his axes in front of him, the red spectral aura now a warm hearth glow. In a silent circle, they bowed not to a master, but to the dawn itself, a promise renewed. The Book of Souls pulsed once, its 13 gems shimmering, each a voice freed, a debt paid. A shepherd on a far hill saw the shimmer and felt, for the first time, that the world was mending, and the souls, no longer restless, took their place as eternal witnesses to a world learning to listen. He stood at the edge of a new land, the sunset casting long shadows. Behind him, the spectral army waited in perfect silence.
I was a gravedigger. Now I carry the dead forward.
The Book of Souls pulsed gently, its 13 voices now at peace, each a story reclaimed. The legendary souls stood guard, no longer weapons, but witnesses to a world healing. In his elongated shadow, the dead walked beside him, their chains rewritten into vows of protection. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky violet and gold, a promise carved from centuries of lies.
From grave to grave, I will bring the dead their voice. This is my covenant.
And he walked on, into a world that was beginning to listen. The mist parted and the road opened, and so the gravedigger became the judge of souls. The silence at last was full,